guys, so welcome to my video. This is video 2 of the stretching series, as specially requested by some of you guys, so I hope that you're using the videos and I'm not just wasting my time. Anyway, so I'm sharing with you some of my ways of stretching, which is based on my La Femme Feline technique, which is Melissa BellyDance creation, and it's based on moving in your stretches and feeling your body moving and opening up through like a dance kind of way. So without further ado, let's begin. It is a warm-up and it will be used as a warm-up, so I feel like you can go straight in, but if you feel like a bit stiff or it's first thing in the morning, I advise you lift yourself up a little bit first, just in case. Choose your options. You need blocks, so I will be back in 1 second because I would like to show you. Don't have to have blocks, but I'm going to show you your options with them. So we got 2 blocks, which I should have done beforehand, but I didn't, so here we are. 2 blocks. Right, so let's crack on. First of all, so this is a sideways stretch, okay? So this is working on the mobility of this area, the strength and mobility of this area here, which we use a lot as dancers. Or even if you're not a dancer, this video is still going to be really good for you, really good fun. But if you're a dancer, you're going to find it's going to help you with your mobility here. It's just a fun way to stretch. So let's go into the first movement, which is I want you to do is first of all just do circles of the hips. So before I stretch, and as part of my stretches and my sequencing that I teach my dancers and my students, is that we really want to warm up the body first to get the best out of our stretches. The stretches that we do are mobility based and flexibility based and strength based, but also movement based. So what does that mean? That means that as a dancer, especially if you do my style, if you come to my class or take my online classes, the idea is that these movements will really help you develop the strength and flexibility required to do the style or the technique. So here you go, the Femme Feline movements. I've been doing that for a really long time, but I've only just recently started sharing it on YouTube with you guys, so you guys get to experience some of the stuff I'm talking about. But of course, if you want to learn properly, you must come to class, be that in the studio, online live stream, or online on my website at any time. The online classes on my website, Keep the Circles Going, are exactly the same classes that you would come to in the studio. They're not different or less than. They're exactly the same class. It's filmed and uploaded for you to watch. Okay, so we're going to start off with pliés. Pliés, why? Because they get you nice and warm, nice and quick, and they work the major muscle groups. So we're going to turn the feet to the corners of the room, and we're going to come down, knees in line with the first and second toe, and you're going to come up. You might not be able to go as low down as this, that's okay. What I don't want you to do is bring your hips lower than your knees. Even if you can, please don't do that. Okay, I want you to press through the heels, and as you come up, you're going to squeeze your butt really, really hard. Okay, so 1, squeeze your butt, press through the heels. 2, squeeze. So we're working on a little bit of strength as well, but also getting our bodies and muscles nice and warm in preparation for our stretches. There's nothing worse for me than stretching on a cold body. 1, is ineffective, and 2, is dangerous because you can pull your muscles if you're trying to stretch a cold muscle. So the muscles need to be nice and warm. For 4, at least in my method, that's how we work. 3, 2, okay, hands on your hips, turn your toes forwards, and then we're going into inward Maya wide legs. Drop the hip and drop the knee, bend the knee, drop the hip, bend the knee, drop the hip, scoop. There's a figure of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So we're working the legs, but we're also mobilizing through the hips. And then when we get ready to do the other movements shortly, it should feel a little bit nicer than just going into the body and just doing it, okay? So let's have 4, 3, shoulders down, long neck. Okay, I'm going to take a little forward fold. So I'm going to come up and over, my toes are still forward, I stretch forwards, and come down to the floor, and I'm going to shift the hips from side to side. So, I shift, 1, 2, 3, 4, bend the knees, turn the toes out slightly to face the corners of the room as you do so, and roll up. Pliés again. Down and rise, down and rise, down and rise. Let's have 4, squeeze, 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 squeeze. 3, squeeze, 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 squeeze. 2, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Hold. Little pulses. Press, 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 press. 8, 7, 6, breathe. 5, 4, keep pressing the knees backwards so that the knees collapse in. 2, and 1. Reach up, turn it forwards. Shift the hips from side to side. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, bend the knees, turn the feet slightly, and roll up. Okay, now, outwards, outward Maya. If you've not learned this move before, and you like it, and you'd like to learn it properly, it's called a Maya. You wouldn't necessarily execute it like this, unless maybe you're doing tribal fusion. But this is part of our squats and warming up our legs. So you can learn it in my figure of 8 series on my YouTube channel. But of course, if you want to learn properly, come to my school, be that in the studio or online, and I'll teach you everything. Everything that I know to share with you. Add 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And one more time, forward fold, turn the toes forwards to this one. Hips go side to side. If it's too much, you can also bring the blocks in. Gonna help you get a better stretch. The idea isn't to hit the maximum pose. The idea is to feel a really good stretch. Okay, so it's not about what it looks like, although of course if we're dancers you might want to make it as pretty as possible, but the idea is to feel a stretch. It's not about getting into the most advanced version, and sometimes the most advanced versions are not where you're going to feel the best stretch. So for the purposes of this exercise, I encourage you to find your best stretch, not what looks best. Okay, bend the knees and roll up. We're going to start our side stretch series now. So this is all the torso, okay? So we're going to turn the toes out to the corners of the room. We're going to plie. My knees are going to be in line with my big toe and second toe. My arm is going to make circles. I take it up and over the head, slightly in front of me, and make a circle. Nice. As my arm goes up, my shoulder goes down. And you're breathing up and over, down and under. Up and over, down and under. Change sides. Up and over, down and under. Keep pressing those knees back. Up and over, down and under. 2 more. Up and over, down and under. Up and over, down and under. Okay, so we're gonna go over, under, over, under. You see I've got a little bit of shift in my hips. If it doesn't suit you, you can stay still. Over, under. But your goal is to stretch this area here. Over, under, over, under. Make, let it flow. Over, under, over, under, over. Change sides. Ha, ha. If you want to, you can let the hips shift. 1, 2, reach, 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 reach. Rise up. We're going to walk the feet in. We're going to bring this leg in. Okay, and option 1, you are just going to, depending on your experience and how you feel, you are just going to, let's go together. So I'm going to take this leg out. This leg, slide again. These are my feet, turn your feet out slightly. From the hips though, not from the knees or the ankles. If you're a ballerina, think turn out, okay? So here, and now, I'm supporting the leg slightly bent, raise. Point the toes as much as you can, like you're doing tendu, lift it, point as much as you can, and then lift the leg. Okay, and we're going to tilt as far as you comfortably can go, so a bit of a strength exercise, and we're going to bring the arms out to the side. Option 1, you're going to hold and stay here, and just hold this. Keep reaching and lengthening and stretching, and stretching, and stretching. If this isn't enough, stay here, otherwise you're going to come with me. What happens first, we're going to bring the leg behind, we're going to pick it up, and to balance the dog at the same time, pick it up, and then we're going to extend the leg, far as you can. Bring it down, and bring it back. Behind, scoop, point, and open. So this leg is in turn out. My knee doesn't face the front. I want it in turn out. Okay? And then option 3, or 2, yeah, it's 3, to add on the arms. So my arms are going to make circles like this. You'll feel it here. Okay, so we extend, open, breathe, and behind. Extend, open, keep the shoulders down. Make sure you've got a long neck and you can breathe. In my school, we call it the cobra neck, the swan neck, and the ballerina neck. 3 names. Basically what it means is lengthen your neck. Okay, so up and stretch. Last time. You should really feel it here. So we're strengthening. Okay, we're going to change sides. Okay, so option 1, do it with me to begin with regardless. I turn my feet out slightly. This is my feet mimicking my feet. So from the heels, but I open from the hips. Okay? And now, shift the weight to this leg. Point your toe, glide it, and then try to lift it. This leg is in turn out, so my knee faces the ceiling. up. An option, you take it as far as you can balance and you hold. You might prefer just to hold it, even if this option is available to you. You might prefer just to hold this and stay here. That's all good, okay? Otherwise, we are going to bring the foot behind, sweep, extend, and try to stretch the leg. It's not about height, it's about feeling it. Control, core strength, extension, and really moving through the muscles in the body. So it's not about getting your leg as high as you can. It's about what's available to you. And then we bring the arms open. Optional. Makes it a little bit harder to balance. But I'll let you choose, maybe something to work towards. Breathe. And through. And open. Extend. And back. Point your toes. Let's do one more for luck. Back. Open. And down. We're going to roll down. Chin to chest, roll all the way down to the floor. Again, you want to use your blocks. If the floor's too far away, always use the blocks. Okay? And then alternate your legs out. Bam, bam. What I'm doing is I'm going to face the back. Sorry to show you my butt, but maybe you need to see my legs. So we have, I pull this hip backwards, and then I pull this hip backwards. Gives me a nice stretch along this side here. Okay? So 1. If you don't need the blocks and you have enough flexibility, of course, you can bring your hands to the floor. Ha, ha. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the tummy in, bend the knees, and roll up. Okay. All right. Moving on. We're gonna go into our circle squats. Okay. So press down. Okay. First of all, I just wanted to shift again from side to side. So I try to keep my torso, this part of the body, in the center, and I shift from one side to the other. Okay, so again, this is based on myofemfeline movement, stretching and movement, which is a BellyDance creation. It's particularly useful. It's useful for everything. Even if you're not a dancer, I'm sure you probably find this quite fun, I hope, like me. But it's helpful for my tribal from a trap, which is my style, tribal fusion. With all the snaky movements that we have, it really helps you to get into the body and to be able to do those movements in the first place, right? So this is why I designed it, to help my dancers and my students build the strength and flexibility in the places needed in order to dance effectively. All right, so now we're just gonna raise the heels. Up, up, down, down. Up, up, down. Try to stay, try not to wobble. This is a strength exercise, a core exercise. And we're gonna take it into a circle, okay? So what does that mean? That means shift to the side, releve, releve, shift, heel down, shift, releve, releve, slide over, heel down, make a circle. Option 1, this might be enough for you. If you're concentrating, try not to lean forwards. You'll soon see what happens if you do. You might be able to balance. Optional for the more advanced people or people who know how to do it, we're going to add in chest circles. 1 chest circle per squat circle. So over, down and under. Over. Use your legs. 4. So your legs are really working now. 3. 2. Last one. Okay, before we go the other side, we're going to figure of 8s. So, front to back, front to back. You might need to bring your legs a little bit closer. As I said, for me, I love to move in my stretches. I prefer not to keep them static. It just works for me. But particularly for what I'm teaching in my classes, this works really well. So, hope you enjoy it, regardless if you're a dancer or not. We're just looking for a fun way of stretching front around the back. Okay, what happens now is we're going to get lower. Hands on your thighs and shift the weight. All of the weight on this leg, all of the weight on this leg. I am going to face the side so you can see what this looks like from the side. But my hips essentially still going front and around the back, front and around the back. All of these movements actually, this isn't a typical belly dance way of doing it at all. But if you look at my figure of 8 series, all of the figure of 8s are broken down. And again, if you come to my school, I teach you properly. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. Figure of 8s. I shift my hips. I shift my weight from one leg to the other. I'm not putting all my weight on my legs, so my hands are delicately on my legs actually. Don't like hold on to them for dear life. Yeah, so extension. We're trying to reach forward to the crown of the head, and look, my hamstrings are stretching. You might not get your legs completely straight. It really depends on your body, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna come lower to the floor. I should face it back. Unfortunately, or maybe even fortunately for you, you have to look at my butt, I'm sorry. So if I face it back, you need to see the shape, right? So I go here, and then I do my figure of 8. If I start here, you see 1, 2. 1, I shift all of the weight into the leg. I'm gonna get lower. Okay. Now what's gonna happen is, I'm gonna come all the way to the floor. If the floor is too far away, you can grab your blocks. Have them as high as you need them to be. And then you'll find you get a little bit more into the legs, into the hips. Otherwise, hands to the floor. Now, to make it a little bit more fun, a bit more shapely, if you wish, if it's available to you, I will look at my feet. Can you see my feet? Yes. On my feet, I'm gonna raise my heel on the figure 8 on this side, and then I swap. Can you see? I swivel on the balls of my feet. It's really important. Otherwise, you'll twist your knees. So you have to swivel on the balls of the feet. 1, and then you stretch. 2, stretch. If the floor's too far away, bring your blocks back. And 1, and 2. I'll face the side view as well, so you can see how this works from the side in case it's helpful. Keep going, don't stop. I'm just maneuvering myself for you. Okay, so imagine if your floor's too far away, get your blocks, and I tiptoe and snake it through. So it's about hip mobility. I'm opening my hips, I'm stretching my hamstrings, but I'm moving. And oh my God, this feels so good. Maybe you disagree, I don't know. Let's have 4. Again, remember, if this is too much, you can totally just shift your hips from side to side. Don't hurt yourself. Remember, you have to come on the balls of the feet if you're gonna do the figure of 8. Otherwise, you're gonna twist your knee. So 4. So you can always pause the video, try to figure it out, and come back. Sometimes it's good to do that just to figure things out for yourself, okay? All right, we're gonna come up, bend the knees, head last. We're gonna go back into our circle squats the other direction. It's not over. So this is strength and mobility, I told you. It's good for you. Okay, yeah. All right, we're gonna go this way this time. So, shift, releve, up. This time we're gonna straighten the legs, if you can, it's available to you. And then over to this side, put the heel down and shift to the center. Okay, so, you might find it easier to go faster or slower. Let you choose, you don't have to go at my speed. Okay, the point that we're doing here is we're really trying to keep the leg and the hips open and keep the knees in line with the toes. Don't let the knees collapse. And it's a vertical circle, yes? So I do this. And then if you want to, you match it with your chest. So a vertical circle with the hips, also with the body, and a vertical circle with the chest. So over. Let's do 4 more. Up, control it. 3, control it. 2, control it. Last one. Okay, tap the toes forwards and stretch. Okay, figure of 8 hips. You might need to bring your legs a little bit closer. Start higher up to begin with. 1, 2. Adjust your body accordingly, okay? Very important you listen to your body. All of our bodies are different. Okay, so it's not necessarily you're going to do exactly the same thing as me or the next person. Yeah? Okay, if you've got it, come to the floor. However, next option, so you're either just going to keep your hands where they are, or you are going to have your hands on the blocks. What I want you to do is spider hands. It's like Spider Girl. I'm going to become Spider Girl for a minute. So I cross and I cross. You might need it a little bit closer. Like this, okay? We do the same thing. Figure 8, 2. Keep your arms nice and straight. Don't lock your elbows though. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. we are going to take ourselves to the floor. No, I lied. I'm sorry, we're missing something out. No, I'll do that in a separate video. I need to make my mind up, right? I'll do that in a separate video. There's more, but I don't want the video to be too long, so I'll do another video. So let's take it to the floor. Okay, so now we do our side stretches here. We're just going to do a little sequence. That's going to be, this ending is going to be the start of another video, okay? The next video. Otherwise, it's going to be too long. So, we have blocks. They're going to be your friend. We're just going to hold a stretch for this one, and then we'll do the moving stretching sequence with some other fun stuff in the next video. So keep your eyes out for that. So if you have the flexibility, you're not going to need the block, but I prefer to use the block because it helps me get deeper. So it's a choice. Here or here or here or here, or whatever you need. Okay, so I sit like this. I'm a dancer, so we're going to point our toes. If you prefer to flex your feet, you can flex. Slightly different stretches if you point or flex. Maybe you want to mix it up. Okay, so we're just going to take the arm over and we do arm circles again. Over and under. Over and under. It's not about reaching your toe, it's about getting a stretch. Try to keep this hip rooted down, whatever you do. Okay, for 4, 3. So in the next video, I'm going to, as I said, continue with the rest of the sequence in a little bit more detail. So what you could do is you can play a step and you can put them back to back. Okay? You can do that. Come on. Up and over. So check out my website, BellyDance.com, if you would like to learn properly and have more of this stuff. The YouTube is cool, but it's just like random videos. But in my school, we have a proper syllabus and we train properly, like there's a progression to it. It's not just random classes on random things. So if you come to class, you learn properly from week to week. If you take the classes online, it's exactly the same as taking it in person with me. It's not different, it's the same class, just online. Okay, so let's change sides. Hopefully that feels nice. All right, so again, you might prefer no blocks, or here, or whatever height you need. Okay, so we're gonna keep this hip down, try to keep this knee down. If it feels uncomfortable, you can also do something like this. If your leg doesn't go down, yeah, you can give yourself more comfortable. So we go over and under, create space. Remember, as your arm comes up, your shoulder always goes down. That is the way it works. Okay, so up and over and under. Keep the neck, remember, swan neck. In my school, Melissa BellyDance school, we call it, it's got 3 names. They're the same thing. Cobra neck, if you feel like you want to be like more serpentine. Swan neck, I don't know why I do that. Or ballerina, okay? Ballerinas don't look like that, but left, okay? So for 4, 3, 2, last one, and release. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and you feel a little bit more mobile. There's progressions in there, right? So you can always do this video a few times and build on the progress. If some of the stuff I was doing, the options I gave you was too much, it might be too much now, but it doesn't mean it has to be forever. So the more you do the video, the more your flexibility and more you'll improve, and the more the movements will make sense. So I'm off to film the other video now, so you'll see at some point it'll be a follow-on from this one, okay? All right, so enjoy.